Hey everyone, so I just want to walk you through on how to navigate within Nearpod, how to run your own lesson, how to explore the library, and then how to create your own lesson. So when you first log into Nearpod, you have this main menu here and you have 5 options. And just note that here are your 5 options. Over here they usually highlight, hey, here's something new, check it out. And so matching pairs with the timer, like I mentioned in the earlier on an earlier slide, this is new, so you can learn more about it. But your library is going to pull you to anything you added from the Nearpod store, any lesson that you've created yourself. Explore is going to bring you to the Nearpod store. And again, if you have a district subscription, the lessons in there are free and you can download. Let's say you're signed in and you want to join somebody else's session. You can click here and enter in their code. Pretty slick. Um, just refresh again so I get my main menu. And then the create, let's say you want to start fresh and create a new lesson right away, you can go right here. And then running reports. I love the reports feature. If I select reports and go ahead and see who's been in my lesson, I'm in my Nearpod um, my Nearpod lesson, but I ran social media classrooms for my grad class that I teach for MSUM, and so here I can see that on 5/22/18 last May we ran it at 9:19 p.m. and I had 27 students who joined it. And this little indicator here, it shows that 27 students joined it, and then they actually did it at home. And if I wanted to see how they did, I could click on it and then I could see participation and results. So I could see who participated and their rate of participation. And this saves forever. So I could pull this up at any time, which has been really great because I've had case managers reach out to me and say, hey, I'm working one-on-one with a special ed student that we share. They're clearly not getting it. And which was odd for me when I had a case manager reach out to me because the student that they were referring to, I was like, wow, when I pull up their reports, they are acing everything. Well, little did I know, or little did I see in my classroom of 33 kids, that he was cheating. And so it was great because then I could better watch him and make sure that he was being held accountable for his own work and having to really truly understand the material on his own. Um, Another great story is being able to see how well students did. I had an ELL student who didn't qualify for ELL assistance, and he would do well in class, participate. He did well in the formative assessments, but there was clearly a disconnect and he wasn't doing well on the summative assessments. And what I ended up discovering is that he needed to be read to. He didn't qualify for services. He wasn't being pulled to be read to. And when I go through and we go over these assessments and multiple choice questions and open-ended questions, I always read those questions out loud to students and we go over the answers together. And so I realized he needed tests orally read to him, and he went from getting really a D minus on that test to walking out of my classroom with a B plus on his test. And so quite amazing to be able to see those things when you're running reports and taking a look at daily student data. Again, if I want to go back, I can hit the little house in the upper left-hand corner, and I'm brought back to my main menu. So I just want to highlight the Explore area. So if I go to Explore, you will be able to look at all of the different lessons that Nearpod has created or partnered with different content areas or experts in the educational field and have created lessons. What I really like is the filter. So if I wanted to see social studies and I wanted to see high school, I could search. And then I can take a look at different things here. I can clear it out. I could also, if I wanted to, filter by standard. This is a new feature that came out just this fall. So I can find, we're here in Minnesota, so I can find Minnesota, I can find social studies, I can find high school, then I can pick my strand. And go down and find the different strand that I'm looking for. Okay. So let's pick that one. Technological innovations, select. Okay, not tons there. But then if I wanted to, maybe I want to go World War II. And then all of the options of World War II would pop up. What if I wanted to do ELA? So English language arts, all of the different ones would pop up. And again, they've partnered with a lot of different ones. So maybe I want to take a look at um, let's see, who was Nelson and Mandela? So this is going to obviously combine ELA with social studies and virtual reality. What's nice is when I click on it, I can preview every single slide. Every single slide I can see it. And if I like it, what's great is I can add to my library right now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit add to my library. Now it doesn't look like it changed, but now this button says show in my library. I'm going to go ahead and select show in my library. And now, again, it doesn't quite look like it changed, but now I can run a live lesson, a student-paced lesson. I can share it with a colleague if I wanted to right away, or I can hit edit. And if I decide to hit edit, it's going to say, hey, do you want to edit this one, or do you want to duplicate it? I always would like to just edit this lesson. I don't like duplicates in my library. So now what's nice is I can drag and drop, move these. I can double click on an activity. I can, change something. I could add information. Again, here I can record and read what that is asking. I can add a video about Nelson Mandela, or I can add an image. And again, if I add a video, I can search YouTube right now. And I could watch. Maybe I wanted to watch this right away. And I can watch the entire video. If that's what I wanted, I could hit, yep, add that. And now this video correlates with this question. I can hit save. So then kids could watch the video and then they could have this question to respond to in the drawed activity. And then you would simply hit save and exit. So that's what's nice. And then there it is in my library. Here is where I would hover over the thumbnail and run a live lesson or a student-paced lesson. So I'm just going to go back to the main menu again. You're signing in. Let's say you want to run one of your lessons you've created. You're going to go to My Library and you're going to select yours. And so maybe I want to run quill working. And so I'm going to hover over it. If I want to run it where I'm monitoring the screen, so when my screen changes, it changes on their screen, I'm going to run a live lesson. If I want kids to go at it at their own pace, I'm going to run student pace. And if I want to share something, I can go ahead and hit share here, and I'll show you. Then I can type in another teacher's email, a student's email, and then I can select, do I want them to have a copy to edit or not? I also like being able to run a student pace, and this is a new feature. If I run a student pace, what I love about this is I can pull this directly in. Here's the code I can just put on my whiteboard if I'm gone one day. Or what I always like to do in Schoology is I like to embed it. So I'd hit embed right here. And medium's always like kind of the right size. Copy this and then paste it into when I just add a page in Schoology and paste that in there. And now that lesson automatically pops up in Schoology. What's also nice is keep in mind right now, if I embed this or share this into Google Classroom, this code, this lesson is only going to be good for 30 days. Nearpod, it used to always be only 30 days, but now you can see this new feature that's in beta, you can go to actually up to a year. So maybe you want to make sure that it's always going to be good through the end of the year. You hit apply, and now it's going to be good for 246 days. You'll never have to worry about re-embedding it unless you change something in this lesson, you'll have to re-embed it. But if you don't touch this lesson, this is going to be good for quite some time, 246 days to be exact. But again, if you decided, oh, I actually just want to, if you use Google Classroom, you can pop it right into Google Classroom by selecting Google Classroom. And taking a little bit to respond. Let's see if I can just close out of it. And notice here how it says, hey, you do have a student pace that was launched. So it lets you know that you have one already launched, but I want to launch a new one. And then I want to pull it into Google Classroom. What's nice is, again, it's integrated, so I can choose which class I want to pull it into, and it automatically adds. So it's a really nice feature. So that's if you want to run a student pace and embed it. Live session would be in class with your students, and when your screen changes, it changes on the kids' screen. So that's really nice to do. All right, and then last but not least, I said I would show you guys how to create your own lesson. So again, I'm going to go ahead and hit, you can be in your library and hit create your own. You can do it here, you can do it here, or if you're on your main menu, you can hit create. Notice here I have my Google Slides pulled up, Ancient Indian Empires, and I'm going to go ahead and title that Ancient Indian Empires. And then here, like I said it earlier in the presentation, I'm going to go to File, Download As, and I'm going to go ahead and hit PDF. And notice, like I said, I'm in Chrome. I like that it pops up on my download bar on the bottom. And now over here, you notice how it says you can drag and drop. So I'm going to go ahead, click, drag and drop. And now I don't want it as a PDF because that would be one slide and it'd be one long PDF. I want this to make sure that it's going to import it in as individual slides. So as it's working, it says it's done. So it's probably going to take like a minute to process. But as you're doing that, maybe you notice that one of the slides had a typo. Okay, let's say this one, I wanted to make a complete sentence. And I want to say there was little political unity and add my period. All right, so I wanted to make that change. You do not have to hit download as and add the entire presentation. What you want to do in Google Slides, you want to click the one slide, you want to hit File, Download As, and you want to do JPEG current slide or PNG current slide. It really does not matter which one. So then there's my download. I'm going to go back in here, and this is done loading. And now I know that I wanted to replace the slide. Again, just drag and drop. You can see it's only the one slide. And anytime you add something, it's going to add it to the very bottom of your presentation. So there it is. And I'm going to drag and drop. And I'm going to place it here. Click on this one, simply hit delete on my keyboard, deleting it. Pretty slick. Then here, so I have my slides. Now, if I was in PowerPoint, I would minimize this. If I had a PowerPoint, I would save my PowerPoint to my desktop. I'd grab it. Let's say this was a PowerPoint. I grab it, drag and drop, boom, pulls it in, and now my PowerPoint is in. Very slick. Now what I want to do, I want to start adding my activities. I'm going to go ahead and select Add Slide, and now I have my three options. Content, so maybe you want to add another slide. Maybe you forgot your activity introduction slide. 3D images. Again, notice it's all done right within here. And so maybe we're talking about, since it's ancient times, let's see if there's anything here. Nothing quite for India, but let's just pretend maybe we're on Rome and we're going to do the Colosseum. What's cool about this is I can go ahead and hit preview and I can take a look at it and I can see what it would exactly look like for students. Okay, if I don't want that and decide to change my mind, I can go back out. Maybe I want to see what PhET simulation is. PhET simulations are phenomenal. They're online labs for K through 12 science and math, and you can run them. And if you like PhET simulations and you're a math and science teacher, Nearpod is actually partnered with PhET, and they've developed tons of lessons that are centered around these simulation or these online virtual labs. So check it out. But if you have your own already ready to roll, you can import one of these right away. Another thing, BBC videos, virtual field trip. So if we're taking a look at India, and I search India, I can see all the different things of India that would be available to import. Maybe I want to see if there's any rock pillars from Ashoka's ancient time. Not seeing too many. Maybe be more specific. Indian rock pillars. Mm.